Every year, thousands of parents whose children have been involuntarily removed to foster care are required to contribute to the cost of their child's stay in the foster care system. Senator Brad Holman Siegel stated in an email to the imprint, not only does this create a financial burden for thousands of families, it actually extends the amount of time parents and children are apart, as poverty-related conditions are among the greatest contributors to the child welfare system. Under Senate Bill 7054, which is sponsored by Ron Kim in the Assembly, collecting child support from parents with kids in foster care would be far less frequent. Lawmakers Kim and Holman Siegel said that they introduced the bill after hearing concerns from social workers and family law attorneys and reviewing research that shows tracking down child support payments from struggling parents costs taxpayers more than is ultimately retrieved. Research shows that for every $100 a child welfare involved parent paid towards foster care costs, the child's duration in care lengthens 6.6 months. Holman-Siegel stated, these effects are especially pronounced for black families who are dramatically overrepresented in New York's child welfare system. I was reading this article and I was really confused on many things. I have never I never knew that a government could even charge child support to the family whose child is in foster care. And I was wondering, legally, how does that work? When we're dealing with child support, the way I see it, in this instance, it's saying that basically that the parents of that particular child has to administer payments because I'm guessing there's maintenance. As I read the law, it talks about maintenance. And I'm guessing the cost of keeping that child within the system, which causes the state money. But I would want to ask New York legally, do we also charge the parents for juvenile detention? Because while those kids have committed crimes, those kids are still under the age of 18. Do you expect the parents to pay for the time that the child is incarcerated? If the state is charging parents for the maintenance and the cost of that child while they're in foster care, one would have to say that legally it would be it would be okay for the state to also charge the parents for juveniles that are also incarcerated because that comes with a significant cost. Then the problem I have with this child support language is that it could go a step further. Does the government have a right to charge people for the cost they incur when the government steps in to take care of or any cost associated when you're in its care? So it's just as well as a juvenile, then that also would mean incarceration. That means that the person who was incarcerated will also have to pay the state a hefty fee for the years or the time spent in jail because the same state or municipality also had to pay for certain costs. I get very uncomfortable reading things like this because that would mean that the state has a pay me back system. A pay me back system. And that is makes me uncomfortable in the sense that legally that New York is already charging child support to the parents who lost their children. Now, I understand on the cost side, but I never heard of this. And my thing if with this legally, are you doing the same across the board? Because if it's an across the board thing, then the people of this state have to go and fight that. Yes, we all have to pay New York back for government cost as it relates to incarceration, as it relates to foster care. But if you're just doing it for foster care and calling it child support, that's very interesting. My next inquiry would have to be, how much are people paying? Now it's saying right here that it's not even being cost effective. Not only does this, it says in the article, not only does this create a financial burden for thousands of families, it actually extends the amount of time parents and children are apart. And it goes down here, it says, law attorneys are reviewing research that shows tracking down child support payments from struggling parents cost taxpayers more than is ultimately retrieved. So now it's costing the state more than what they're getting back. And that's bad business. Right? So that's bad business. My next question would have to be, financially, that this is a consistent issue around the country, that policies revolving foster care always inadvertently affect those that are dealing with poverty. This sounds like a cash grab. It just sounds like it always affects financially those that are at the bottom of the income spectrum. And that's not fair. And then I would like to ask the government of New York, are we helping parents? Because this is my final point. When parents lose their children, they're trying to get them back. What I'm hearing around multiple states, multiple municipalities, is that the parents are saying that the amount of things they have to do to get their child back is unbelievable. When we make these policies, are we sure that we're trying to help the reunification of these families? Because oftentimes, policies and laws are disrupting the reunification, and that could be a serious problem. We are talking about reunifying the family in this particular law because I would want to ask someone, do they know what it's like to be at a visitation with their parents, and you're looking into the parents' eyes and they're telling you that they're trying to get you back? And could you imagine if you're the child and you're listening to your mother speak to you about, I'm trying to get you back, but I have a drug problem. I'm trying to get you back, but I'm struggling with finding a job. And even if your parent had a job, you're the child and they're telling you that they're trying to get you back, but they're struggling because they're paying child support to the government and they can't afford it. That is causing a financial setback in their life. That is causing a financial disruption because it's an added bill. And you know what, son? You know what, daughter? You know that we're already in poverty. We're already poor. I'm already trying to make ends meet. Tell me exactly how that helps families at the visitation table. Tell me exactly when you're having a meeting with the liaison, the social worker, and the parent, where it gets uncomfortable talking about a budget. It gets uncomfortable talking about financial issues. Why would New York want to be on the wrong side of the ledger as it relates to finances when it comes to the reunification of parent and child? So I would just think from the emotional standpoint, what it would sound like to hear a parent tell me that one of their bills is a child support payment when they're trying to get their kid back. My name is Ambition. Have an amazing day.